Yeah, so we have a team of 25. We do about anywhere from 500 to 700 videos a month. We'll do your topic research. We will script your videos. We will shoot your videos, and then we will edit and post. All you have to do is show up and record. Every 2 weeks, I was on a plane flying out and like shooting social media content. Yeah, so then I was like, I want people to come to me now. But wood panels alone cost me $6,000, and I was like, dang. So the first 3 seconds of your video makes up 85% of it. So if you can't stop people from scrolling, it's not going to do well.
All right, Haas, thanks for being here.
Dude, thanks for having me, man. Yeah, I know we've been trying to get this on the books for like 2 months.
A while, yeah. And it got rescheduled multiple times, but here we are.
Yeah.
We made it happen. Yeah.
Made it happen.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear about your business model because you run a podcast studio.
Right.
But what I love about it is that it's a little bit different than just a typical, like your business model is a little bit different than your typical podcast studio business model. So I'm really looking forward to diving into that. First of all, give us kind of an overview. Where are you from?
Yeah.
Who are you? What is your business?
Yeah. I always ask people this question, so it's weird for me to like get asked and I have to think about it. But so I grew up in Springfield, Missouri. Moved down to Austin, Texas about 5 years ago. Been in video production for 10 years. And then got into like the Instagram social media space about 6 years ago. And then from there, started building out the studio probably, about 9 months ago. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. What initially made you think about building out a studio?
So the spot that I was at was my previous company that I worked for. So it was a men's coaching company, basically around, coaching guys on how to build their businesses. It was called Wake Up Wealthy. So I worked there for about 5 years, and we had the studio space and whatnot. And we decided to shut that company down last year. Mainly because like most of us were just kind of burnt out. CEO wanted to do something a little bit different. So we shut down that company last year and we had the studio space. And so I decided to kind of take it over and start like really like building it out. And I had my agency kind of running at the time. Nothing too crazy. I probably had maybe like 10, 15 clients that I was doing social media content for. And then, from there just kind of was like, all right, let's start building this. I was also very tired of traveling. I was sick of it. Like I was on a plane like every 2 weeks I was on a plane flying out and like shooting social media content. And so then I was like, I want people to come to me now. Yeah, in your studio, is it strictly for podcasting? Do you do a little bit of other content creation then in there? Yeah, so it's not just strictly for podcasting. A lot of like talking head like social media content is what we do. Because primarily that's like how I got my name built was like we got really, really good at that and building people's personal brands and helping them actually, convert views into, leads, book calls, whatever it is. But we got really good in that space, and the podcast studio is kind of a new element that we're just like adding on to it. Like you can come podcast in our studios and it isn't technically set up for that. But right now we do like primarily a lot of social media content.
Yeah. That's what I love about it is that people can come in, even if they don't have a podcast show,
right?
They can still come in and they can sit down and have a conversation just like this. And then you're able to take those videos and create little social media snippets.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it because podcasting is kind of if you want to start a podcast, it's kind of a big project, right? You don't just record it and press publish, right? No. You got to create a logo. You got to create the brand, you got to do the YouTube channel, you got to do all this stuff, you got to add music to it, and then you have to do it every single week. But a great thing that we're seeing from podcasting are these little short clips that everybody sees on TikTok and Instagram and the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And so your business has kind of done away with that big part of it and just focused on the social media aspect of it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so the way that developed was like clients would come in and they would want to record, talking head videos or, whatever it was. And they would take, like 5 hours to record, like four clips.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's just talk about your business. Like, I'll just ask you questions. We'll talk about it. And I'll like direct you. And then like kind of the idea developed. I was like, okay, I'm going to start like interviewing people so that they can, easily talk about their business, and like get clips from it. Cause it's a lot easier talking to a person than it 100%. Is talking to the camera. Yeah.
100%. So you're the other person, you're sitting in the chair, just like we are here.
Yeah.
But the camera is focused on them and you're asking them about their business, why they started it.
Yeah.
some tips for other people, yada, yada, yada.
Yep. Yeah. So we're asking the questions, and then we're also writing the hooks as well too. There's a whole process that they'll go through with us because we'll do an onboarding call. We'll be very strategic on what the questions are that we're asking and like what those hooks are as well too. Nice. Because we know we have a couple proven frameworks on like what works, and like a couple of our videos have gone viral before. Yeah.
Nice. What's like one of those secret frameworks?
So like we have a couple different like hooks. Like hooks are by far the most important. You probably know this. But
and
like,
a hook is the first little bit.
First 3 seconds of the video.
Yep.
So the first 3 seconds of your video makes up 85% of it. So if you can't stop people from scrolling, it's not going to do well.
Yep.
So we have a couple different like, words that we'll say. Like if you say, I'm trying to think of like hack. If you say like, here are the 3 hacks to, 10x your business, whatever that is, like people are more drawn to watch that video. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
When you get those videos, how do you process it? Do you have a team that edits them?
Yeah.
Kind of talk to me about that process.
Yeah. So we have a team of 25. So we're, starting to kind of develop out like the systems and getting it really dialed, but essentially from shot, it goes into our pipeline. Our project manager will take it, assign it out to the editors. Editors will start working on it. Then we have a quality control team that will start, spell checking, making sure everything is correct, then deliver it out to the client.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have 25 people on your team.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
We do about anywhere from 500 to 700 videos a month. Yeah.
Good golly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to dive into that. Because having a team is, first of all, it's important. We all know that, but it's also can be stressful if you have a lot of people.
Yeah.
Are all these independent contractors?
Most of them. And then we have a couple people that are salaried. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you find those independent contractors?
So a lot of them, whenever I first started, kind of like just came to me on Instagram. And then like, it was usually just like, hey, like, are you have a buddy that's looking for some work, some editing work and whatnot. And then like, I started kind of training them. Primarily, all my editors are overseas. So either in the Philippines, Pakistan, or South America. Online Jobs PH has been great, like a resource for that. Upwork, Fiverr. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think my best guy I got from Upwork.
Okay.
And then, and just through like some connections as well too. I've just kind of made over time. Now my personal assistant, she's great. Whenever I need to like hire anybody, she knows. She's well connected. Yeah.
She has the system to hire people.
Yeah, she has a system to hire people. Yeah, and then like hiring, I tried hiring through like Indeed, and like the quality of people I was getting through there was not great. So
really,
yeah, it was a little bit tougher. I've noticed like the people that actually like reach out to you or like have been invested into your brand for a little bit, like those are the best hires.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I could see how Indeed would be great for like a traditional business. Like if you need an accountant, go to Indeed or LinkedIn or whatever.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, there's definitely an art to hiring. Like, because I've, throughout my businesses, I've done a little bit of hiring, and it's always like a pain point for me. It's always like a little bit frustrating. I'm always like, okay, I got to find the right person. And if you don't find the right person, then you wasted all that time. You wasted a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, having the right people on your team is like the most important thing.
Oh yeah. Yep. I've learned my lessons within the past 12 months for sure. Yeah. Went through some bad team members, and then like finally, whenever you get a good one, you're like, oh my God, this is 10 times easier than I thought it was going to be.
100%.
So it makes my life a lot easier. So yeah, super grateful for my team. They're killers. Done a great job. I've had some of my editors with me for the past 5 years, and yeah, they're great.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you find your clients, or how do they find you?
So primarily right now my Instagram, and then we're running ads. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ads on what platform?
IG.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. So they find you on Instagram, and they're all local, or do you have a virtual component as well?
So we have a virtual component as well too. Like the thing with like our offer is like we can go out to you as well too. So I have maybe about 6 or 7 clients in Miami, a couple in LA that we'll go out to. And then we have our local type of offer where we're like interviewing people that they can come in. We'll run our like local ads for like podcasts, like interview here in the Austin local market. And then we have a campaign out for the kind of more virtual type of offer. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Your clients, are they all over the board as far as like what industry they're in? Like, do you have people who are in accounting? Do you have people who are in like construction and all that jazz?
Yeah, I feel like I've worked with everybody kind of in almost every space, from doctors down to like construction to lawyers to, I get a lot of like entrepreneurs, a lot of like coaches, consultants, a lot of people in that space. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And you still record long form podcasting as well, or is primarily your business social cuts?
No, we'll do long form. Yeah, we'll do long form. We just haven't marketed it too much, honestly, and I question if I want to do that or not. But yeah, we'll do long form. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the plan is to eventually like Content Factory be a place where anybody can come in and get high quality content done, whether that be a YouTube video, ads, podcast, whatever video content that they're needing, we'll handle it for them. Yeah, is the idea.
Nice. Yeah. Since opening up your studio, like you said, you've been open 9 months or so.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I've had the space for like 3 years, but like I would really say I would like opened it up like about 9 months ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was like one of the biggest pain points opening?
Definitely like kind of the back end systems of everything, like getting everything set up, like lights, camera. You know, like I already kind of knew that. Yep. You know, that's easy, right? And like marketing, to some extent, was like I started kind of like testing out people, like letting people come in, started kind of sharing on my Instagram story. So that wasn't too much of an issue, but it was more or less the back end systems of like, okay, we have all this footage, like now we need to get it to the right person. Somebody has to go upload this, and then this has to be delivered out, right? Yeah. So there has to be a person like managing that. Project manager is great as well too, but then also managing the communications with the client. And making sure that they're happy and like they're revising, they're seeing everything as well too. Yeah. So that was probably the hardest part. And then like we redid our entire project management system. We were on Monday, and then we moved to ClickUp, got all the automations dialed, and that's been a game changer for us. Yeah. I mean, we're still developing it. Like, I don't think it's ever going to be to a point where I'm like happy with it. You know, like I'm always like trying to like improve. I'm like, what can we automate? And my ops guy is like, he's like, you can't automate everything. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Let's see. Challenge accepted.
I was like, I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, because like we'll have an update go out to like whenever a client comments on Frame.io, it notifies the editors, like they know what to do, moves back, and so.
Nice. Yeah, we have a similar route. We run Monday.com. Liked it, didn't love it. Switched to Reich, which is kind of an enterprise level one. So it was a little bit much for us. Yeah. A little bit expensive as well. Yeah. And now we're on ClickUp as well. And we love ClickUp. ClickUp's great. Gets the job done. Yeah. It's great. And we, of course, use Slack alongside of it.
Same.
And so, very similar process. When the client comments on the video, we get a Slack notification. And then, when it's time to move the ball, like whenever the client's done, we know when to do so. So, I mean, logistics are like the backbone of any business, I think. I mean, you could be a great artist or a great cinematographer, but if you don't have logistics, then you're going to be dead in the water. Quick.
Yeah. I mean, what was like the pain point for you whenever you were opening up yours?
When we opened up our studio, I think one of the pain points was finding new clients. Yeah. And I think that's still one of our pain points that we're tackling, because we get people who walk in all the time. Just yesterday, somebody walked in and they were like, I didn't even know you were here. Yeah. And they live like 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
And so that tells me that I need to do better at my SEO, even though our marketing and SEO is pretty solid, right? Like we're getting clients and we're doing all that, but it could always be better. So I would say marketing and SEO is probably one of our pain points. Even though we're doing good at it, it could still definitely be better. Yeah. Have you pivoted any over the course of your this project? Since you've had the studio, have you pivoted at all?
Not yet, really. I mean, right now we're still kind of in the building phase, because we have 2 sets, and the other set we're building out right now, and then like the plan, like our space is big enough where we can have probably maybe like 5 or 6. So I haven't pivoted like the offering or like the packages too much. Yeah. Maybe kind of like the marketing a little bit, because we'll do like full on like A to Z of like, okay, we'll do your topic research, we will script your videos, we will shoot your videos, and then we will edit and post. So all you have to do is show up and record. So I haven't pivoted too much like on the business offerings. It's more or less just like getting everything dialed, and then like once everything is dialed, then I can like make a decision to like pivot. Yeah. And which I probably will. Yeah.
I think businesses always have a little bit of pivoting through over the years.
Yeah.
How big is your space?
It's relatively big because we have a whole training room in the back.
Okay.
That people will rent out for like their events or masterminds. Can hold up to 40 people in that, and then we have a gym, like a full-on gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll show you a video after, but there's a full-on gym in the back.
Is the gym y'all's?
Yeah, the gym's us.
Oh, okay, so it's not like a shared gym.
No, it's our gym. Yeah, it's our gym. Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's content. Well, now it is Content Factory's gym, but my previous employer built out his gym within the office, and now he's like my partner in the business.
Yeah.
So he uses that, and I want to turn that into like a podcast set for like gym influencers that want to come record their stuff. Yeah.
If you get good lighting in there, do y'all have decent lighting in there?
It's decent enough. Yeah.
Decent enough.
Yeah.
That fly, I haven't had a bug in here in months. And now he's here. He
just wants to talk, dude.
Yeah. If you set up good lighting in there, oh man, influencers would love that.
Yeah.
You got the machines and they're doing all that. Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's very unique too. Is a gym. I am probably willing to bet there's less than like 10 in the state that have gyms connected that are like content creation gyms. It's great.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I would love to like hear your thoughts on like how we should like set it up and like and whatnot as well too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm decent enough, but like I feel like you're a lot better.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So on your location, how did you come about that location? Did you find it yourself, or you said you had a business partner that kind of already had it?
Yeah. So the company that I worked for called Wake Up Wealthy, that was our headquarters for the first like 3 years of the company. Yeah. So he found it. I was his first hire. So I moved with him from Springfield, Missouri to Austin, Texas. And then that was the office space that we worked out of. Yeah. And then whenever we shut the company down, we were thinking about getting rid of it or going our separate ways. I had my agency at the time, and then I was like, well, I'm so sick of traveling. Like, I just want clients to come to me. And I was like, why don't you take this little corner right here and turn it into a studio set? Built that one out, and then started working on the other ones. Yeah.
And I think location is super important because like our business couldn't work if it was like 20 minutes that way.
Yeah.
If it was 20 minutes that way, it probably wouldn't work.
Right.
If it was 20 minutes that way, that's towards Austin, I think. There's a lot of competition, so it probably wouldn't be as successful. So, I think location is key.
Yeah.
Is your location, like, are your clients pretty close to you in South Austin?
Yeah, they're pretty close. I mean, so we're 10 minutes from downtown.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm really close to the airport. Clients love it because, like, a lot of people either, like, fly in and then, like, record and then, like, jet out same day.
That's great.
Yeah.
One thing you talk a lot about is like your personal brand, and that's kind of what you do, right? You are making those little videos to increase people's personal brand, right? Their digital presence out there.
Yeah.
And then you clearly have done something right because you have a hefty Instagram following and you have a solid digital brand as well. Why is that important?
I mean, I think it's vitally important as a business owner. I mean, like, who would you rather follow? Jeff Bezos or Amazon?
Oh, Jeff Bezos.
Right. Yeah. So like having a personal brand as a business owner, I think it's just like, it's a lot easier to like your customers to get to know you and your business a lot better because they'd rather follow you than the actual business account itself. Like, not saying you shouldn't have a business account, you definitely should. But like, that's where they get to know you. That's where you get to build trust. That's where you get to build credibility, and be like a knowledge expert in what you do and what you're a master at.
Yeah, for sure. And so you help these clients from recording the video. Do you also help them on the social media side, like posting, responding to DMs, doing the whole 9 yards?
We won't respond to DMs since we're not like the knowledge base of the offer. Like we're not appointment setters. But we will post. We will like do a couple engagement things for clients as well too. But yeah, we'll handle distribution across all platforms for them. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And within your business, one of the pitfalls of any business owner is that they find themselves working in the business as opposed to working on the business.
Yeah.
Right? They're doing the day-to-day editing. And this is actually a problem that I find myself in all the time.
Yeah.
Where I'm doing the day-to-day editing. I'm doing the setup and tear down. I'm cleaning the toilets. I'm doing everything when my time would better be used working on the business. Right? So how do you kind of get yourself out of that hole there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm the best person to ask. Yeah, okay. I mean, like, well, so, I mean, I've been working on it, of course, is like hiring and delegating. And I think delegation is just a practice. like over time of like, like getting good at it. I've gotten a lot better within the past like year, but I still find myself working in the business. And like like you said, my head is best focused on doing like sales and marketing, and then like letting team handle fulfillment, and client success.
Yeah.
And I think like the best way of doing is just having good SOPs and good delegation. Hiring a team was super beneficial. I mean, I recently just got probably last week, I just got out of shooting. Before it was like I got out of editing, now I'm out of shooting. And then like within the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'll be out of fulfillment is the goal.
Yeah. And I think the first person I hired was essentially an assistant, right? Or a producer,
right?
Who can answer the emails, schedule the things, manage the projects, like kind of look at the admin stuff. And I still think that's the first step for any freelancer.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people who are probably listening, or a lot of people in our industry, we started as freelancers, where we owned a camera. So we would go out and we would shoot real estate, or we would go out, we'd shoot a wedding, or we would shoot something, and then we'd go home and we'd edit it in our spare bedroom. And eventually that grew into, we hit capacity essentially. And then the emails started piling up, and like, so all this stuff, when we're creatives, right? So we still need to be working on the creative stuff. We still need to be editing and shooting.
Yeah.
So hiring an admin and a virtual assistant, you don't even have to hire a local person. You can hire a virtual across the world to work for you for 8 hours a week just to start. But I think when you start that, it'll open up your availability to really focus on the creative instead of having to look at all those unanswered emails.
Oh yeah. Unanswered emails. I'm not allowed to touch my calendar is my rule. I don't send invoices.
Yep.
What else? Like I just started establishing rules for myself of like, okay, this is not worth my time. Like I have to like delegate this out, and like I will not touch it, and somebody else has to do it. Yeah.
I love that idea. Don't schedule your own calendar. Like that.
Yeah, no, I don't touch it. I'm not allowed to touch my calendar. Unless like, of course, like if I need to add something, like if it's like my girl's like birthday or something like that, or like we're doing something, of course I'll add it in there. But like my assistant is my filter. Like everything has to go through her. Because one, I will destroy my calendar, and I will like just book myself on back-to-backs. Yeah.
That's great. I've experienced the exact same thing.
Yeah. She like made sure she like time blocked lunch. It was like, do not book. You have to eat. Yeah.
Because even getting this set up, Taylor emailed your assistant, because I feel like if I were to email you, I would drop the ball, or whatever. So I think that's super important. Delegating various things. And so anyways, back to the point where delegating a lot of the admin stuff should be step one. And then I think step two would be delegating the editing. I feel like that's an easy thing to delegate.
Oh yeah. You just have to let go.
You have to let go, and it's hard as an editor.
Yeah.
And again, that's what I'm finding in my production businesses, is that, and usually what happens is the editor will do 80% of the work, or they'll get it done, but then I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, I still need to put about 20% more of my flair into it. Hopefully one day I won't have to do, or I won't feel the need to add that 20%.
But now, would the client notice, like your extra 20%?
No.
Yeah.
No. But, but still though.
It took me a while to grasp it.
Yeah.
Like, I just started like kind of testing it out once like I was getting out of the editing phase, and like, just started sending clients videos that I had not touched. They were happy.
They still loved it.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I gotta, it's time for me to let it go. Trust my editors. If there is any feedback I want to give, or if there's like something I want to add special or something like that, maybe I will. But I don't think I've touched Premiere Pro in 2 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Your set design, how did you what influenced your set design?
I mean, I think I think I had seen somebody with like wood panels and like something similar to that. And I was like, I kind of like that. So I got the wood panels, and it was a lot more expensive than I ever thought it was going to be. The wood panels alone cost me $6,000. And I was like, dang. I was like, that's a lot. And then like I got them, and I was like, what if I put LEDs like in that, and see what that looks like. So then that was a whole process in itself, like trying to get LEDs installed into these like little slits.
Yeah.
And then whenever it came out, I was like, man, this is pretty slick. Yeah, so the LEDs, you can change the colors to anything you want. They do like little animations. Yeah, and then we'll continue to improve that set. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of saw it somewhere and was like, I kind of like this, and started piecing it together, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's the trend now is wood panels.
Yeah.
And I would have wood panels in there, but you're right, they're wicked expensive. Every time I price it out, I'm like, oh man, this is not worth it right now.
Like I bought like the first set, and then it wasn't enough to cover the room, and I was like, dang it. So here's an extra $3,000. So I was like, it'll be worth it. I mean, yeah, of course you'll make your money back eventually, but like at the upfront cost, you're like, wow. Yeah. Thank God we already had all the equipment and everything. So
what cameras do you shoot on?
We have three Sony A7S IIIs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then a couple FX3s, and FX30s. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you run it into an ATEM Pro ISO.
Yep.
I assume. You run the audio into a Rodecaster Pro. Yep.
Into the Rodecaster Pro. And then what we have is really cool. I kind of forgot about it. We have a mega desk. So all 3 cameras attached to the desk, and we have podcast poles that stick out on the corners.
Yep.
So we can rotate the desk and lift it up and down. So whenever we have multiple sets, we'll just be able to roll. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you see that on YouTube?
Yeah, Tom. Yeah.
So he'll be on the
Tom.
podcast next week, actually.
Oh, sick.
Virtually, because he's up in Chicago.
Okay. Well, tell him I said what's up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. That's great. And anybody who asks me about studio stuff and I'm explaining stuff, I always send them to his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I'm like, go watch his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of info on it. And a lot of this was inspired by his videos.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Join his circle community. It's great. And I just have that on the subscription for just like any technical questions that me or my team has. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's great.
That's great. Yeah. I'm going to ask him about that business model as well. Like, because that's a whole separate business that he's launching. But anyways, yeah, it's great to see. I feel like this whole podcast studio business is like a new thing. It's like within the past, like if you were to backtrack 5 years ago, I don't think there was many, if any, podcast studios out there, because podcasting has really kind of blown up since the pandemic. And now there's people like us who know how to use a camera, and we're like, hey, we can offer our technical services to launch a podcast or to videotape a podcast for you. So I don't know. I kind of like how it's this new business venture that a lot of people are doing. Yeah.
It's really cool. I mean, I never thought it would be something that we did, you know, like, yeah. And then, it's been great. And it's just it's probably my favorite form of like media as well too, you know, like just having the conversation with somebody.
Yep.
Also even like listening as well too. Like, I have a couple of podcasts that I listen to, and like, I think it's just a great format, you know. In like the marketing space as well too.
Yeah.
And now we're having clients do like podcasts like via sales, like podcasts like video sales letters, like talking about their business. So instead of like a promo video, we'll just have a podcast of them talking about the business. We'll sit down with them for like 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a video podcast. Where does that go? What channel?
So that goes up probably on their landing page.
Okay.
Right. Like, so essentially, like if we did that for me, for example, right, at the Content Factory, this video would live on the landing page, and it'd just be me talking about the Content Factory of like, you know, this is what we do.
Yep.
This is who we are. This is how long I've been doing this. Here are some of our client results.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. And you're right. I think a lot of long form podcasts are listened to.
Yeah.
And the short form social snippets are watched.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people, like, if video, do a video on your podcast, because you'll get those social snippets. Whereas if you only do audio, it's going to be really hard to get the engagement on your social snippets if you don't have a video component.
Right.
But most podcasts are definitely listened to. What are some tips if somebody's wanting to open up their own podcast set? What are some tips that you'd want to give them?
First, make sure that the market's right for it. Like your location's good, that you have the clientele for it, that you can like actively, you know, keep good cash flow coming through the door.
Yeah.
That's number one for sure. Having your backend systems for sure. Like, okay, you record the podcast, what happens now? Because if you're going to own the studio, like you're eventually going to be so busy that you won't be able to either handle like doing the editing or like able to handle like uploading and like everything else that kind of comes in between from like client emails and whatnot. So be prepared for that. Third tip, try to be different. Yeah. Try to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing a great job of being different by offering those little short snippets as like your main thing. You know what I mean? Getting people to come in and talk for an hour and then deliver them 15 social snippets.
Yeah. I like it a lot. Clients love it as well too. It's just a really great way to, just talk about your business and speak to like your target demographic and like their pain points and seem credible,
Yeah. Do you use any kind of automated AI software to get those clips, or is it all manually you go through and you in and out?
All manual for now.
All manual for now.
Yeah. I mean, we will for a client if like they want us to use like Opus or like any of these other ones, but like I wouldn't recommend it. It's just not there yet, and it's not as engaging. So it goes to our editors and they'll edit it.
Yeah. And they add little graphics. Like they don't just add captions, they do graphics and little fun animations to make it a little bit more engaging.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we have full on animators as well too. So we'll do like those black and white animation videos, any type of like animation work. We'll do 3D animation as well too. Because like primarily like the whole business was already built, like the post-production was already kind of built from me. The podcast studio came later. Mm-hmm. Like all the editing, all the distribution, that was already done. And then the podcast studio, we just added that on. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming. Yeah. How can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at HaasCon_ or the Content Factory ATX. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, good stuff. Thanks, Haas.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me on. Yeah. Thank you, guys.